Take a look at the scene behind me. It looks more like a battlefield than a cornfield. Every fallen tree represents the sweat and tears of farmers who have worked hard on this land. We cannot accept the destruction of their labor, especially when it happens in just one night. That's why today, we've decided to take action. To cover as much ground as possible, we split into two teams. Leon and I will take the higher ground on the hill, supported by my iPhone 17 to track the map. Meanwhile, Tim and Blake will head deeper into the dense forest next to us. The rules are simple. The team that shoots fewer boars will have to handle the entire bounty and prepare dinner for everyone. The engine of the Land Rover Defender is already hot. Let's go! We're currently standing at a high vantage point on the hill. Early morning is the golden hour for hunters, as it's when wild boars leave their hiding places to forage for the last time. My iPhone 17 just received an alert. There's a target moving toward us, about 200 meters away. I immediately take my position, ready as I see the dark shape appear in the distance. I refuse to lose sight of the target. Just as I'm about to squeeze the trigger again, I see it fall, motionless. It seems that luck is on our side right from the start. We continue driving the Land Rover Defender up a steeper hill to look for a new target. From up here, I spot a wild boar moving slowly through the dense bushes below. In situations like this, the most important lesson is patience. I must wait until it fully emerges from the brush. This is the moment. With all my experience and the fastest reflexes, I fire. We are determined not to let these wild boars destroy any more of the crops. The feeling of a successful plan is truly exhilarating. The sun is higher now, and based on my experience, the wild boars will start heading back to the dense thickets to take shelter. So, Leon and I decide to change tactics and set up an ambush right behind the shrubs on the hill. We've studied their movements carefully and know their habits well. Gotcha! Everything goes exactly as we've calculated. And please note, all our hunting activities comply with the strictest regulations of US law. Our victory didn't last long, as the next challenge came quickly. From our position on the hill, we spotted not just one boar, but an entire herd making its way toward us. If this herd gets through, the damage to the crops will be catastrophic. We must act immediately. Gunshots echoed through the valley, successfully halting their advance and protecting the farming area behind us. While my team was busy on the hill, deep in the forest, Tim and Blake were facing an equally intense situation. The dense trees severely limited visibility. Blake reported over the radio that a boar had suddenly appeared right in front of him. In that split second, Blake reacted with incredible speed. It was a truly professional and decisive shot. If you agree that this was an amazing shot, give us a like. The rapid barking of the hunting dogs led Blake deeper into the forest. Here, the dogs successfully cornered a massive lead boar, weighing hundreds of pounds. The beast fiercely threw the dogs aside. Oh no! The situation was getting extremely dangerous. Blake knew he couldn't hesitate. Not only did he protect the crops, but he also saved his four-legged companions. Meanwhile, at the edge of the forest, Tim had chosen a clear spot for an ambush. The silence didn't last long, as the sound of barking from deep within the forest signaled that the target was charging right toward him. He couldn't let it escape. The wild boar was taken down right in its tracks. There's no better way to wrap up today's mission to protect the crops. Winning or losing isn't really what matters here. The most important thing is that we've secured the peace for the cornfields. However, the rules still stand. Tim and Blake, get ready to cook dinner.
Çekiyor musun abi? Çekiyor. Köpek var ya. Hiçbir şey olmaz. Tamam.
Every morning when my mother wakes up, the first thing she sees isn't the lush green of hope, but the shattered rice paddies, churned up and broken stalks scattered everywhere. We couldn't just sit back, so my brothers in the village and I decided to take action. Could we stop these savage beasts? The answer would come at sunset. Before setting out, the team gathered to strategize. We laid out the plan. Tom and I would take a position on the hillside to get a clear vantage point and control the high ground. John would hide at the foot of the mountain. Two others would work alongside the hunting dogs, ready to drive the herd toward the ambush point. Early morning, mist still hung low across the mountainside. Tom and I silently kept watch on the hillside, eyes sharp, tracking every movement below. Suddenly, the bushes rustled gently, and a wild boar as massive as a boulder lumbered out. My heart clenched, finger tightening on the trigger. The shot rang out, the prey collapsed to the ground. That moment marked the opening of a long battle. Keen observation from afar and lightning-fast reflexes are what make a hunter's success. I breathed a quiet sigh of relief, but deep down, I knew the real challenge was only just beginning. The peace didn't last long before the hunting dogs' barks echoed through the mountains. Tom and I immediately knew they were driving prey straight toward us. Both of us gripped our weapons tighter. As soon as the wild boar appeared, there was no hesitation. The shot rang out. Quick and decisive. The enemy was stopped in its tracks within seconds. On this hunt, alongside me were steadfast teammates and loyal, battle-hardened dogs. It made me feel stronger, more grounded than ever. The sweep continued. More dark shapes fell on the hillside. The survivors panicked, rushing down the slope in desperate bids to escape. But they didn't know John, our final line of defense, was already waiting below. His gun smoothly tracked the fleeing beast before the trigger was pulled. BM, another threat wiped out as the prey collapsed. All these skills etched into our very bones aren't for show. They're what allow us to stand as the strongest shield for our homeland today. As evening fell, a signal came in from the lookout post. A wild boar was wandering near the forest edge. We moved in immediately. Just as its shadow appeared, sensing danger, it darted desperately up the hillside, trying to escape. We focused intensely, held our breath, fingers lightly on the trigger, then bang. The bullet struck true, pinning the prey to the ground. This area was quiet for now. We pulled back to regroup, preparing our gear for tomorrow, heading toward the nearby Red Clay Hills, where the locals are also struggling against a rampaging herd. The next morning, we loaded up and headed straight to the spot. The scorching sun burned down, but it couldn't ignite the team's spirit. Sticking to the same strategy, I became the group's eyes, taking the highest vantage point with a mission to clear any threats from afar. Holding my breath, I locked the hairy beast firmly into my sights. A smooth but decisive squeeze of the trigger, and the creature dropped instantly. In that moment, pride surged through me. Every shot wasn't just skill, but a responsibility to protect the peace of the fields thirsting for a bountiful harvest. The fallen beasts left behind stood as proof of a long, productive day. As dusk settled and we prepared to withdraw, we spotted an entire herd of wild boars slowly making their way up the hill. Without a word, the team silently spread out to encircle them. The shot thundered, piercing through the thick hide of the boar, and once again, silence fell, with the creature lying still. Every time I pull the trigger, I don't see myself as just a hunter, but as a soldier fighting for the community. Sunset blanketed the ancient forest as we loaded our full haul into the Jeep Wrangler and headed home. Red clay stained our clothes, but everyone's heart was light. I grabbed my iPhone 16 to call my mother with the good news. The battle isn't over yet, but I believe that when people stand united, no beast can destroy the crops of our home. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss tomorrow's.
The farming system in the Czech countryside has been under continuous attack by wild boars, causing severe damage to the harvest last season. Thomas, my longtime farmer friend, contacted me in urgent need of help to eliminate this threat. I quickly prepared myself for the perilous mission ahead, knowing that this trip would not only determine the fate of his family, but also that of the entire rural community. At 5 a.m., we arrived at the edge of the forest. Our specialized weapons and modern equipment were thoroughly checked before we ventured into the woods. The hunting dogs were released, bringing their strength and keen instincts to track down the prey. The familiar barking signal echoed through the air, and I immediately selected the optimal position to intercept. With skills honed through many hunts, the dogs quickly spotted the wild boars and drove them into my range. And then, in that moment, a deafening shot rang out, marking the beginning of a perfect coordination between man and hunting dogs. Suspecting that there were still more boars hiding deeper inside, we decided to push further in. Everyone quickly spread out, each covering a different area, moving silently as we tracked our targets. My eyes scanned the surroundings, spotting small groups as well as solitary individuals. To avoid startling them, I decided to take down the lone ones first. As the target came into my sights, I squeezed the trigger decisively. The beast collapsed, unable to comprehend the situation. It was a moment of calm, precision, and total control of the situation. Groups of wild boars, large and small, rushed out one after another, testing our patience and judgment. While I was focused on dealing with them, a few managed to slip away unnoticed. Yet, I wasn't worried, knowing that Nick was covering the lower end, ensuring no boar could slip through. As soon as a target became clear, a sharp shot rang out, decisively taking down the beast in an instant. What do you think of this strategy? On the edge of the forest, Jack's team was tasked with guarding the perimeter, where the quiet atmosphere stood in stark contrast to the deafening gunshots from the central area. Yet, their eyes never wavered, remaining focused and alert to every sound and movement. The distant gunfire could easily send the wild boars into a panic, causing them to flee into areas like this one. Soon enough, a wild boar appeared. The moment it stepped out from behind the trees, the bullet flew and hit its mark. Though not large, it was still a threat that had to be dealt with immediately to prevent further chaos in other areas. Before we could even get close to inspect, the sound of the hunting dogs caught Jack's attention. Without hesitation, he charged straight toward the source of the noise. "Look, it's no small one," Jack whispered. The moment had come, and his finger squeezed the trigger instantly. The shot rang out, adding another mark to this thrilling journey. One by one, more targets were taken down by our professional teammates. After the fog cleared, the light had never been so clear. The prey, hidden in the mist, now stood exposed in the open field. We quickly deployed and took down the targets with perfect precision. After hours of fighting, the spoils were beyond expectations. The sweat and relentless effort paid off, bringing a successful and productive hunting morning to a close. The steep slopes, thick brush, and scattered grass patches create the perfect feeding ground for wild boars, packed with plants, insects, and cover. They slip through the terrain like ghosts, leaving almost no trace. For a hunter, every step demands absolute caution. The hillside tests not only strength, but sharp instincts. Only those truly alert can read the faint signs of creatures that move as quietly as shadows. Climbing the hillside, it feels like the world behind me disappears. Everything drops into an eerie silence. Just me, the ground, and the faintest markings left behind. Every sound, every footprint becomes a crucial clue. With the hunting dogs leading the way, finding the boars is no longer the impossible task it used to be. Smooth teamwork and careful preparation create the perfect opportunity. Every shot lands where it should. Everything plays out clean and controlled. In this wide-open landscape, the drone rises quickly, casting shadows over the slope. I stay tucked inside the brush, waiting for the right moment. The boar still has no idea danger is closing in, until the moment arrives. No matter how smart or quick a wild boar may be, it can't predict a well-laid ambush. And in the end, there's only one outcome for any wild animal trying to claim this land. The strategy continues to prove its worth, not only with technology, but with the pack of hunting dogs driving the boar straight into our field of fire. The guns wait, ready. The moment is here. Even its tough armor-like hide, something that often looks impenetrable, can't withstand the storm of bullets raining down. It collapses in moments. After that victory, the forest suddenly grows still. During times like this, every detail matters. Every track, every judgment must be exact. One mistake, and the boars will have another chance to wreak havoc. But before long, luck turns our way. And in that instant, we understand. Success comes not only from strength, but from silence, patience, and calm in the defining moments. There's no pause, no chance to relax. Every step and every glance scans the terrain. Then suddenly, the familiar rustle, the sharp scent hitting my nose. When the boar falls, it becomes more than just a trophy. It's proof of skill, intuition, and the ability to read the land with precision. This is where every skill and every ounce of focus is pushed to the limit. The unstable slopes, shifting angles, and uneven ground turn balance itself into a battle. Every shot must be calculated, not just distance, but absolute accuracy. The situation can change in a split second, and a tiny mistake can send the boar fleeing into the brush. This hunt isn't only about victory, it's a journey that showcases skill, grit, and harmony with the wild. In the dense forests of France, massive, ferocious wild boars blend seamlessly into the rugged terrain, turning every hunt into a true test of skill and patience. With their numbers growing uncontrollably, these beasts have become a major threat, prompting local authorities to offer a hefty reward for anyone brave enough to confront them. We arrived, determined to face these monsters hidden deep in the forest, where every step we took was a gamble. Before the sun rises, we make our way into the forest, following the faint tracks left behind in the soil. These scars in the earth may be signs of the wild boar's presence, but they could also be traps, demanding careful judgment. After just a few minutes, all of our senses heighten, and there it is, its brown hide emerging from the underbrush. A perfectly timed shot is fired after mere seconds of aiming, catching the beast completely off guard. The fallen boar serves as a testament to our precision and the sharp skill of reading the tracks of a wild boar. We continue to follow the faint traces on the ground. Though they don't immediately signal a successful boar sighting, our experience tells us to keep pushing forward. Along the way, Jay proves invaluable, reading the faintest smells and sounds to pinpoint the target. Thanks to his skills, the heavy-hitting boars that appear are brought under control swiftly. His patience and keen detection earned him the reward of a successful hunt. After the loud noise, it seems we've spooked the animals. The boars, quick to react, are now on high alert and begin to flee in panic. Sensing the shift, we lock our eyes on likely escape routes. The moment has come. Each shot is meticulously aimed and fired, blocking any escape attempts the boars might make. Though not the largest, this victory still marks a significant win for the team. The forest grows quieter. The wild boars have hidden themselves well, making the task of reading tracks or observing movement almost futile. Just as we consider changing tactics, the familiar sound of barking fills the air. Our loyal hunting dogs are on the scent. We follow the noise, heading straight for the target. Though the boar is far, I decide to take a shot. Years of training at long ranges allow me to land the hit. The boar has nowhere to run after that blast. Meanwhile, in another part of the forest, Nick faces off with his own quarry. When the tracking device beeps, signaling the boar's location, every step becomes a sprint. No matter how fast it runs, the boar can't escape the relentless gunfire. The massive beast, once a shadow in the forest, is now brought to its knees by the combined efforts of man and dog. The hunt never stops. The team moves with purpose, splitting up to approach new targets. With calm precision and sophisticated tactics, we quickly begin to isolate the remaining boars that are being pursued by our dogs. A battle of wits and strength unfolds as the wild boars try to dodge our shots at range. But with our strategy, these shadows in the forest are once again cornered and subdued. Victory belongs to the hunters, thanks to their resolve and determination to protect the village. The hunt for wild boars is not just a test of strength and skill, it's about protecting the crops and livelihoods of the local people. When the hunt ends in victory, the true reward isn't just the trophy, it's the peace of mind knowing that the harvest has been safeguarded. That is the real value of the hunt, a bond between man, nature, and the responsibility to the community.